Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. Oh, edge of our seat action. Edge of our seat action. Maybe not the edge of your seat because, you know, you're driving or operating heavy machinery. Or
actually, it
supposed
helps
to be
to
standing.
drive on the edge of your seat.
No,
If you're sitting way too far back, you can't reach all the pedals and controls.
Huh?
That's why they have seat adjusters,
that's a short
dude.
person problem.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Rodrigo, please. The party is split. Let's find out what happens next.
Never split the party.
We didn't do it intentionally.
I know, but if I've only learned one thing from Critical Hit, and by God, I'm pretty sure that's true, it's don't split the party.
Yeah, but we split like every other session.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are split constantly, and it turns out about as well.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Exactly. Remember, kids, don't try this at home. We are professionals. None of us are professionals at this, but we're all professionals at something, and that counts.
Whatever you do, don't play role-playing games at home. Please, leave it to the professionals.
That's right.
Just
I learned it by watching you.
You could get a nasty paper cut and everyone mocking your references. The Matthew Peterson story? Okay. I'm serious too, damn it. It's been a long time since we played. I have to get it out of my system.
So, yes, the party is split. Randus, Little Sparkle, and Dalin made it onto we'll say like a lifeboat type thing from one of the Asmodean ships, and are making their way to the shore away from the commotion, while Sakar and Seven Elsewise have been captured. So we will pick up with Little Sparkle, Randus, and Dalin as they manage to get their vessel to the shore without any further impediments. When you get there, it's not like a beach type thing. In fact, it's like basically it's a wall. So you guys, but it's like a stone wall. It's like these like nice bluish gray stones. So when you guys get there, you guys actually have to do a short climb. And when you manage to get to the top of that wall, you find yourselves in what appears to be a fairly nice, if somewhat overgrown, topiary garden. There's an elephant, and there's like a manticore. That's pretty cool.
Oh no,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And, you know, just like the bushes are probably supposed to be like very, very round, like trimmed so that they have like there's almost like the leaves have this almost like perfectly spherical shape. But in fact, they have not been trimmed recently. So they look mostly like spheres that have some branches and leaves sticking out of them. Also, none of the things that have like, you know, grow berries for additional decoration have been picked. So some of them have like a bunch of like berry goop like all along the bottom, like around the base of them. So there's benches and some grass, which also hasn't been mowed but hasn't grown too much. And there are no non-plant living creatures around that you can see.
Well, that's a good sign, I think.
I will, still a rat, kind of do like a quick run around the perimeter to confirm we're alone.
You appear to be alone.
Turn back into a human. Or not a human, a Kenku. Say,
Okay.
well, that could have gone better.
Yeah.
The story of our existence.
Yeah.
True.
But we got Agord to the island.
I suppose so.
Let's try to get our bearings as best we can, stealthily, and maybe we can see if there's anyone around who's still on Thene's side, and at least try to figure out where they might be taking Sakar and Seven.
Didn't you say Thene led you to the island that you all got captured, transformed, etc.?
Got a thing.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, in that there was something that was slipped into our research documents in the library.
Wasn't it not given to us by a library attendant?
It was given to us by the librarian attendant, but we don't know who put it there, really.
Yeah.
So I guess it's possible that Thien is not on our side, but if so, this place is... The Dark Pillars seem to basically being used as a punishment. They're placed... They've so far been placed everywhere that people were allied with, and she had signed on for our treaty against Asmodeus. Now, it's still possible that if she intended or got a better deal from Asmodeus in terms of like preservation of knowledge or access to knowledge, she might have sold us out. But even so...
This part's just from Rob's memory because Dolan clearly wasn't there, but she also didn't find, or she wasn't as big of a fan of Arathis as possible because Arathis doesn't always propagate knowledge.
Yes, that is true. But she wasn't wild about Arathis, but we still convinced her that Arathis was better than Asmodeus, and that Arathis wouldn't actually be leading the contingent as well the way Asmodeus it was, that it would be more of a egalitarian thing as opposed to Asmodeus clearly being very much in charge of his faction. So yes, it's certainly possible that she is not on our side, but we still have to find our friends, and we still have to get to the pillar. So I guess we try to maintain that objective. I mean, we can hope that Dalin's gourd is the one that will trigger this pillar, but if it's Seven's, that's a real problem.
Yeah. But I don't know that we have any way to get back there right now.
To the ship, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say, are we able to see the ship currently?
You can see basically the small armada that surrounded the ship.
Well, I mean, we could try to spy on the ship and see if it docks and where it goes.
I mean, they're moving towards, they're not moving away from the island. They're, moving more or less in the direction that you guys were already going.
Oh, okay. Well...
I mean, keeping an eye on the ship seems like the best plan, but she also goes where she wants to.
Sure. Well, I would say that we should try to get some more information on the situation here and see if there's anything we can use to our advantage.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Honestly, no one's going to recognize you, Dalin, and I can try to stay hidden.
I assume both of us are just looking at Randus.
Yeah. I don't suppose you have a way to conceal yourself or your appearance, Randus?
Not particularly at this time.
Okay. I mean, I am typically loath to split up, but the three of us traveling together at this point might attract extra attention if they're looking for the three of us specifically.
I suppose that's true.
So it might be best for you to stay here where it's relatively safe and keep a lookout to see if the ship goes anywhere. And we can try to get a sense for what's going on the rest of this island.
Sounds reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a look at if there's how do we get out of this topiary garden?
Well, there's a couple exits. There's a couple arches also made out of topiary. I don't know, plant.
Mm-hmm.
And they lead outside.
I will kind of follow one of them and see what it leads out into.
It leads out into a street of a residential area.
I am going to start scurrying around, basically.
Okay.
So I'm going to start, trying to disappear into the streets and the buildings and trying to kind of get a lay of the land and look out for avoid Asmodean patrols or other evil bad guys and try to gather up some information.
Okay. Why don't you give me a streetwise check?
Absolutely. It's going to be a 44.
Well, first off, this area where you guys landed appears to be deserted, like this immediate neighborhood. Eventually, you are able to cross the neighborhood, and you actually start seeing patrols, which just seem to get thicker and thicker as you look ahead. We'll say that you can actually find a vantage point because, again, in the area where you guys are, there really isn't anybody around, so you can, climb up a gutter to the top of a building and see a little bit farther away. You see, like way in the distance, what is probably a docking complex. Basically, it has, you see some of the Armada ships parked outside of it, but it's like roofed, so it's hard to tell what all is in there. So that's farthest away. Closer to you, there are several buildings which do seem to have some activity, and everyone around there appears to be Asmodean army or priests. There, like one of those buildings is kind of a squat, like brick building, and you catch a glimpse as you sort of climb up to your vantage point of somebody dragging Sakar into it.
Oh boy. Do I see Seven at all?
You don't.
Okay. And like how much patrol is in the way between me and this building that Sakar is being dragged into?
Progressively more. Right now, between you and it, there's probably like 3 patrols. The closest one is probably going to turn left here in a bit and then just keep going that direction for quite some time and not be a problem. The one that you would meet up after that probably has a tighter arc, and then the next one after that is basically patrolling the building itself. Plus, this building seems to be heavily guarded.
Great. The ducks you mentioned, do I have any sense of like kind of where those would go?
They probably don't go much further than that. A large sort of covered complex for docking ships.
Gotcha. I guess, is there, any way, like, is this section of the island kind of like cut off? Like, is there any way to kind of get around that building from a different angle?
Sure. There's actually lots of angles to get to that building. Any of these buildings.
Okay.
They're like, this is like, I don't know. This is built like a college campus. Like there are like just random like gardens around, and like big like quad areas and like small houses and slightly taller buildings. Like it's like, this isn't a fortress. There's like lots of places where you can go and hide or move through.
Cool.
Which again gets progressively harder as you get closer to that particular area that's more guarded. But up until you get there, there's lots of directions where you can go.
Then I'm going to kind of skirt back to Topiary Land and report back to the guys there. It's like I saw Sakar. I see where he's been taken. This neighborhood is basically deserted, so you can get closer and settle down in one of the houses potentially, and I'll try to get a little bit closer and see if there's a better angle of approach.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I think that'd probably be a good idea to try to spring him.
Yeah, for sure. I just there's a lot of guards, so
yeah, one would expect.
All right, then I'm going to try moving around a different angle and see if I can try to assess any form of weak points.
Weak points for what?
I guess in the, like, if there's any way, like other ways to potentially get at this building that are less covered in guards on different angles.
Yeah, so that's really the difficulty there, is that there really aren't. Again, it's just kind of like this building and a couple other buildings around it, and they're kind of in a quad type of situation. So you can try and get to one of the other buildings, but you don't know what's in them.
Sure.
And this area seems more transited, so it makes sense that they're like occupying them as like offices or HQs or whatever. It's kind of like a net like zero here. It's like this place is probably difficult to guard because there isn't any place to like put up a fortification. Like they could have like built like a makeshift fort around this building, but they would have taken a lot of effort. So it's like it's easy to approach, but it's easy to get spotted. It's probably, if you can get an approach, it's probably easy to attack that building and find a way in because it's just a building. Like it has big glass windows, probably has like a skylight somewhere. It wouldn't be ridiculous to think that it does. In fact, you were higher than it, so it probably does have a skylight.
But like, how many guys do it? Does it seem like we'd have to fight to get in there, though?
Oh, all of them. If you were going to fight, it would be all of them.
Yeah.
Teleportation only requires line of sight, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and the right distance.
Right distance, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That can be fudged. Because if the building they're being taken into has a bunch of windows.
You can possibly teleport in and teleport them out.
Yeah, we have teleporter, rat. Getting in all stealth-like actually seems easy for a change.
Is a rat power a daily or an encounter?
It's I believe a daily, so you won't have a rat again until tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a daily.
Okay.
I mean, I could always stab you again. It worked the first time.
It did work.
It worked incredibly well the first time, actually.
I know, it did. It was great.
So it just asks for us to screw it up.
Well, this is a bad situation.
So teleporter, stabbing victim. Still a workable plan.
Well,
Precisely.
That means the teleportation isn't so much a thing anymore.
Oh?
Yeah. I had to kind of more concretely lock down my presence on the local finite curve to start being able to come back, but it's...
Gotcha. So you can't just disappear from time anymore?
Not so much.
Good to know. All right. Well, so much for that part of the plan then. All right. Then I think what we need to do is go a little further afield and try to either complete the mission or see if we can find anyone that's still alive and friendly here to help us spring them, because that's too many guys for us to handle.
Fair enough. See if there's local resistance or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, we've found it to some degree everywhere else, so here's hoping.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to table the rescue for now and try to get back up.
Okay.
Have we been able to identify how far into the island the pillar is?
Seems to be pretty close to the center of it.
Of course, which is where the dentist guarding is.
You would imagine, but the area where they took these guys is like by the shore. Like this is like some other thing. It's not like they're taking them to the center of the island, where probably, or well, not yet anyway.
That's a problem.
You know what they say? East or Sekar by the seashore.
We might lose our chance to spring them if they then take them further in. This is hard.
Furthermore, I'll throw this additional piece of information in. You know that Sekar had his amulet on him.
Oh, and if they figure that out, they might get control of Sekar. All right. I guess we have to just try to act now. Let's try to... I'll watch for the patrols and try to get us as close as we can without provoking them, and then we'll try to make a huge commotion. Randus, can you still make like bombs or something? Maybe we can get some people to be distracted.
I think I can manage some kind of distraction.
All right. Well, that's something. If we can plant a few and then sneak closer. Maybe we can get some of the guards to run off and fight a few less things.
All right.
Jailbreak!
All right. So you guys are going to try to get closer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Possibly make bombs before we get closer and then try to get closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a thing I can make happen?
Sure.
Big flash and
like
smoke and
half the stuff attached to your body is barely stable.
So
I
have to ask, are you using the stats for a Warforged now?
maybe.
Nice. A plus.
Seems reasonable.
Maybe.
That's great. More machine than man.
All right. So meanwhile, we'll say that Sakar wakes up.
Where am I?
You are in what appears to be an alcove, which is probably about, we'll say, about 10 by 10. It's like made out of like a hard gray stone. In front of you, you see a hallway, and then across from you, in another alcove, you see Seven Owls Wise. He appears to have a complex set of like manacles. He basically has something around his neck, which connects to the manacles around his wrists, which connect to a thing around, like a chain, that keep his feet together somewhat. It's not like crazy, like he can't stand up or move around or anything, but it prevents like any sort of crazy amount of movement. The manacles that he's wearing also seem to be somewhat oversized, like they're kind of bulky looking, and they appear to have these like large either jewels or stones attached to them. He's got like a couple on his right hand manacle, and then one more in like the neck brace kind of thing that he's wearing. And he's awake. He's just kind of probably sitting cross-legged, meditating. And as you notice that, you realize that there's a similar set of setup on you. And as you kind of all comes rushing back to you, you feel a dull but insistent burning sensation on your, we'll say, your right arm.
Can I see what's causing it?
Yeah, you've got a hell of a burn there, as though you had been smoked.
Infuriating. And am I as bound as he is?
You are as bound as he is.
And I don't suppose that any of the abilities that I might have to get unbound are going to work because magic gems.
I mean, that's a good assumption.
I could try.
You could try.
I'm going to try to be intangible.
Okay. It does not appear to work.
I'm going to try to be invisible.
Especially, and the best part is that your intangibility comes through. You have to charge to be intangible,
right.
So you definitely take a shoulder to the wall. Hey, look, 7 Owls, Sakar's awake.
Hey, welcome back.
A strange sort of welcome. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I don't suppose you can pick those locks and immediately escape.
I try to pick the locks to immediately escape.
Okay.
I will roll a, what is that?
Thievery.
Thievery, okay. Do. What is that? Well, that's actually not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad.
Thievery is dex-based, right?
24. That's probably not.
Yeah. Maybe if you had the right tools, but you don't.
Yeah,
which obviously 7 Owls Wise is already aware of this. But
I wave the little rat bone that I've been holding at him, and then just kind of flick it across at him.
Okay. When you flick it, it bounces off of some sort of force type field.
There's also that.
At least they got away.
Yes, maybe. Can we tell anything about these stones, or any of their arcana powers or anything like that?
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
All right. But I rolled a 25, so there you go.
Okay, so you can definitely tell this. They're kind of overkill for you. Like, half your powers do come from like channeling divine essence,
right,
or whatever, but it's like half your powers come from just like planting yourself really well. So you've got there's way more stuff here than you can do, and it's probably the same thing with Sakar. They just clearly didn't know the extent of your abilities, so they're giving you guys like the royal treatment as far as stuff. So yeah, there's you both probably have enough stuff that it's going to block most of your good abilities, and also a bunch of stuff that's not doing anything,
and also probably a bunch of my really bad abilities too. So
sure,
that's true.
I meant specifically the ones that might help you escape.
Yeah.
Blocking my history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I probably don't need
to
to do a nature check.
I can't like smash the two jewels that are on my wrist cuffs together and break them or anything like that.
I mean,
you're still in chains, but you turn into Captain Marvel. It's weird.
Yeah. If you try it, it doesn't work. This whole setup is enchanted, so it's probably. The way that you can't just break a magic item by like smashing it. The same thing is true of these.
Well, I got to try, because maybe that's just what they want you to think.
Right. Yeah. Give it a shot, and
people will think that's way too overpowered. No one would think to smash these two things together.
Yeah, nothing adverse really happens. They just kind of bounce off each other.
Yeah, so there's that too. So right now it's a waiting game.
So Rodrigo.
Yes.
If one has a daily power and one attempts to use a daily power but is mystically blocked from using said daily power, does that daily power expend itself?
Probably. But if it doesn't work, I'd let you keep it this time. Definitely for the trial.
All right. I'm going to try the form of the Autumn Reaper and see if I can actually shift and possibly break free, or maybe warp my way out of the thing by being a gross creature of grossness.
Okay. Yeah, you try to channel your guardian form, and sure enough, one of the jewels begins to glow, and you feel it kind of start to work, but then it just kind of goes away. It feels like it was like surging outward, and then just literally like somebody put a stopper on it.
So do I still have my gourd?
You do not have your gourd, but you can feel what direction it's in.
Okay.
It was not taken very far away.
All right. Does Sakar still have his blood amulet?
He does not. None of you have any of your gear, including
my prayer beads.
Your prayer beads, Sakar's like top of his armor is also gone. He still has like his like belt and or loincloth and or war skirt. I don't know if he had anything like that, or whatever it is, if it's like a padded like kind of situation or what. But basically he still has the bottoms of his armor. And then on top, he just has like whatever tunic he wears underneath. He doesn't have his vial. He doesn't have his weapons, or any of his gear otherwise. But does not feel like anybody is controlling him. So clearly, nobody's messing with the amulet.
Okay, the gourd is nearby, so we have a bit of an advantage for now.
Can I tell where the amulet might be?
Sure. You can try to concentrate on it, and yeah, you can kind of sense the direction that it's in.
Is your gourd that way? And he tries to point as best he can while tied.
Yeah, but you point with two hands. Yes, it is in fact that way.
Yes, it is in fact that way.
Well, that will at least save us time when we do break free.
I don't know how much time we have, because at some point, this report will go up the chain of command to whoever's in charge here, and upon realizing who you are and what you are, I have a feeling that both the gourd and your vial will be gone. So at this point, we can only think of Brandis and Little Sparkle and...
I have faith in two things. The skills of our comrades and the complete ineptitude of all bureaucracy. So, the
Well, I
odds
must say
of
that
them
if all of-
finding out immediately.
I must say, though, that if all of this happened within 8 months, that's pretty fast takeover on Asmodeus's part.
Presuming that Thene didn't acquiesce.
I don't know anything about her.
I know enough to know that anything is possible when it comes to the intellectuals.
So, Seven Owls can give me a history check.
It's time to do history. This time for
29.
real. Nice.
With a 29, you would definitely at least have noticed on the way in that there's no like giant holes in any of the buildings, and there's no like like ramparts or anything like
Sure.
makeshift stuff around. So chances are either all the fighting happened somewhere else on this island or no fighting happened on this island.
Mm-hmm. Well, based on what I saw when we came in, Thene either opened the gates up because she's part of Asmodeus's plan, or in an attempt to hopefully preserve the knowledge on this island and not wanting it to get destroyed in a battle, she opened up the gates and let them in.
Hopefully, the whichever one is last. I was going to say the latter, but I don't think that's correct.
Yes,
No, that
the
was.
one where she opened up the gates
Okay.
and let them in. That's the most important part, I think, right now, Sakar.
Maintaining.
But- Well, would we have had a conversation about... At some point, we would have had a conversation, right, when Little Sparkle came on board about the pillars, and they appeared to be placed on people that had signed the accord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We've had that discussion.
Okay. So, if she opened them up with open arms, opened up the gates with open arms, it would not make a lot of sense for Asmodeus to put the pillar here. So it still seems like perhaps this is a punishment on her.
Possibly. As a god of learning, perhaps she learned something new. I don't know.
Are there any patrols coming through here, Rodrigo?
You've probably been here for like 45 minutes, and you haven't seen anyone, although when they brought you in, there were guys guarding the door to this area.
How many
You also
guys?
didn't see any other prisoners here.
How many guys?
Also, since you saw at least part of the building, you realize that this used to be a library and has been converted into like a makeshift like HQ/prison.
Okay.
Is this a library that I know?
It is not a library that you know. At least
Too many libraries.
you probably haven't been to this section. Seven Owls Wise is pretty sure that these little alcoves is just where they kept the carts.
Yeah. How many guards were at the door?
There were two,
Okay.
and they were like outside.
Yeah,
They
so-
might have moved to the inside now that there's prisoners in here, but they haven't made any noise.
Okay.
And they haven't like come around to check on you guys or anything.
Okay. Two guards. I think they're outside the door. There's a lot of guards between the door and the outside, obviously, but it looks like they've made this into their, I don't know, permanent headquarters or a temporary headquarters or a regional headquarters. That part I don't know. If this is the main compound, then the number of guards that I saw is not horrible, but I don't think the two of us would be able to take them all out.
If I press up against the force field, does it try to electrocute or melt me or anything like that?
Nope, it doesn't hurt. It's like there's a wall there.
What does it taste like?
Snozberries.
It tastes like magic.
Ooh.
Sometimes magic sounds like tape.
Also, I say, I don't believe there are any other prisoners in here, so it's just the two of us, you and I.
This may be a makeshift brig.
So, are there windows?
No, there are no windows here. Again, you're pretty sure this is like storage. So
Yeah. Oh, okay.
there are some artificial lights, but there are no windows here.
Okay. All right.
Are the lights in the cells?
No, they're in the hallway.
Yeah.
Do we see any, like, is there any kind of like grates or drainage or anything that we see in the floors?
Nope. So hopefully they'll be moving you guys at some point.
Yeah.
They also did not provide any sort of chamber pot or anything like that.
Yeah. I was just
Are there
thinking
any
outside.
enormous vents above us that we can just crawl through?
No, there are no enormous vents above you. Again, this area is not meant to hold humanoids, which is probably what makes it a somewhat a slightly better and slightly more horrifying prison.
Did they leave any book-sized charges of C4 lying around?
Yes.
Not book size.
Okay.
There is one like California King mattress size charge of C4. So
Okay.
you're gonna have to roll the dice on that one. No, there's no C4 in it.
That sounds like a trap. I
So
suppose it would
I
be
don't-
an act of
I
purest
don't
optimism.
know. I don't know enough magic, Sakar, to know what this force field is, except magic. I don't think that there is anything powering it, like an on-off switch anywhere. So I don't know how we would take this down. Obviously, we're bound. I can't punch a hole through the wall. So at this point, I think we're here until either we are moved or someone comes to help us. Does it feel like our artifacts are inside this area with us, or are they outside of the?
Oh, they're somewhere in the building.
Okay, somewhere in the building.
Almost
okay.
certainly.
Okay.
Probably just in some other different room.
Okay.
Can I tell what the power source is and if there might be a way to disrupt it?
Give me an Arcana
Yes.
check.
Ooh, I'm bad at Arcana.
That's okay. So am I.
Can't I do it with nature?
No.
Damn it.
We don't have any mirrors that we can disrupt the lasers or anything.
Exactly.
Well, you don't have any mirrors, so
I have my laser shoe, though, so that's going to help us.
Yeah.
Unrecognized command, you say?
I carried this watch around with me. No.
32. For Arcana.
So with a 32, you feel that these walls are somewhat familiar, and you're pretty sure that if you hit them enough, eventually they'll break. The problem,
field wall?
of course, being that you're not really sure how much you have to hit them. So it could be a thing where you guys are very strong and you could punch it, and it could be a thing where you punch it for an hour, wreck your fists. Obviously not 7 Owls wise, but Sakar wrecks his fists, and nothing really happens. So,
And that's the magic wall or just the regular walls?
that's the magic wall. The regular walls are made of stone,
Okay.
and if 7 Owls wise was to try to punch through that, first off he'd have to make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
He probably could eventually, if he was uninterrupted for a couple hours, he probably could 1-inch punch his way through.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it would make a lot of noise and almost certainly get guards in here.
Smash the manacles against the force field.
If there are only 2 guards, Sakar,
Mm-hmm.
do you think we could fake God, my bluff is horrible, I think. Yeah, my bluff is horrible. Do you think we could fake something to get them to come in and take down the force field on one of us, attack them, and break our way out?
We could try. Worse things have succeeded. I mean,
All right. So who would be the most likely to? Which of us is the most important asset? Probably you, Sakar.
I think I have the better bluff too.
My bluff's only 13.
Yeah, I do have the better bluff.
Okay. So you start going.
I'm not going to say it because it'll make Sam snicker.
I mean, of the two of you, you've got the better bluff.
See? See?
You summoned her, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true, I did.
I was muted until you mentioned me.
Once for encounter, I could use my arcane as a bluff.
At which point Brian has the best bluff.
Give you a
Yeah.
bluff of 57.
So do you want to go into some kind of fake spasms, convulsions, and see if we can get the couple of guards down here to...
Certainly.
Oh, man.
All right. That sounds fantastic. So we're gonna cut away from that.
It's right up there with the Wookiee prisoner. Never gets old.
Again, we're the party is split, so we're just this
Having to
this
go
is
back and
about
forth.
this is about where the commercial would come. So we'll cut away to the other group.
All right.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, you could, ask Brandis if he had the bombs yet, but if you want to.
Sure.
It's a Gilligan cut, and you'll be like, and that's the plan.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So we'll say that you guys have managed to find the closest uninhabited building, which is still a ways off, but it's something. And this place does have those like artificial light spheres, which Randus is pretty sure he can get to basically short and blow up, possibly causing this whole structure to catch on fire.
Ooh,
Sweet.
be a
All
good
right.
distraction.
Yeah, that's a great distraction. So I will watch for like a break in the guard patrol, and we could try to time that along the lines of your distraction and go at the same time.
All right. Just let me know when.
Yeah, you can even set up, like if you spend some time
A
looking at it,
delay.
you can set up a bit of a timer
Oh, perfect.
so that you guys can actually get even closer. And then, so basically, if you think of it as a triangle, you wait till the patrol is, away from the angle, like to where they'd be making a direct angle that doesn't intersect with you. And then cause the commotion and then essentially already be, a third of the way down to where you need it to be.
Yeah, that sounds like exactly what we want to try to do then.
All right, let's get an Arcana check to figure out the timing.
Okay. Making sure I didn't
Hunting
have...
for ones.
Yes.
That's the only way that you're going.
I'm double checking I didn't find me any way to re-roll my Arcanas, which, nope.
Bummer.
Boo.
You can do it.
I want to watch you roll 2 1s in a row.
While
Yep,
he's
hey.
doing that, Rodrigo, are our captors human?
Yes, the great majority of them are human. You've seen a couple tieflings.
Okay.
Not my
For those
best roll.
listening at home, Brian's bonus is actually bigger than my successful roll.
That is unbelievably high. That bonus.
Yeah, I don't think when they were putting together the epic levels of 4th edition that they really expected like skill use or like skill challenges to still be a thing. Like they're just gonna be throwing like gods of them. We'll just assume, So
Maybe they just assumed 5th edition would be out before anyone
yeah,
reached
before
Epic
anybody
Pass.
made it to epic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was out before we made it to epic.
True
And
facts.
they shouldn't have made an epic destiny that relies on Arcana checks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Never,
So-
ever challenge a nerd.
Yep. So, yep, you're pretty sure that you can time it exactly right.
Okay.
So, and with your intimate connection of the current synchronous timeline, you're pretty sure that you've got like, I don't know, 25, like however long, like basically 40 seconds to like get all the way down the street before that thing blows.
Okay. So, yep, me and assistant finish up our wiring and scribing of runes to set that up, and or I guess, are you ready to start it, or I guess
Yeah, you
go.
can start it. You can start it on Little Sparkle's command
Yeah.
when she sees the patrol go by.
we'll do that.
All right. I will give the okay when appropriate.
Patrol goes by.
Go.
All right, I do the thing and start hustling away.
All right.
Clink, 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 clink.
You guys hustle and get a good ways down when, yes, in fact, there is a loud, like high-pitched, like crack that is like heard pretty far, and all of a sudden that building is on fire. Yep, just boom, the whole building goes up pretty much immediately. This is like a 4-story building. You guys can see, you can't see the patrol because you've specifically situated yourselves in such a way that you wouldn't be seen by them, but you can also see some like a handful of soldiers from the building that you're heading towards start to point and then begin to move in that direction as well.
Sweet. Let's take advantage of the chaos.
Brandis can now burn things down at an epic level.
All right, so we'll cut back to the inside.
You better be able to grab them both at once. We've only got this one chance, Sakar.
All right.
All right, start thrashing. Guards! 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 Something's
Turns
wrong!
his eyelids inside out and starts to bleed from the head.
Okay.
Guards, something's wrong!
So as Seven Owls starts to shout, his shouts are drowned by a deep, like, rattling explosion.
Guards, there's definitely something wrong!
So yeah, real quick on the outside, as you guys are hustling towards the building, you guys see some of the windows just like blow out, like something just blew up inside there.
Scar, I have no idea what's going on, but maybe this isn't the right time to do this plan.
I'm busy bleeding from the eyes and ears.
Yeah, lick it up and let's go.
There is you guys hear some commotion immediately outside, and you can hear, because you don't have direct eyesight on it, you hear the door fly open and someone runs in. This is a human. He's got brown skin, like hazel eyes, sandy blonde hair. He's wearing some nice white robes. Not like bleach white, like kind of like canvasy, like a very light sort of beige maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And a Peleus hat. So if you don't know what that is, it's a hat that comes to a point, but it's not as like pointy as like a dunce cap or like a wizard hat.
Right.
So if you like put your wrists on either side of your head, right below the crown of your head, and then you touch your fingers, that's about how high the point of a Peleus hat goes. So he runs in, looks at you guys, and says, just the wrong wing.
Who are you?
Oh, we're the Resistance.
Oh, well, we are also with the Resistance. I mean, we're here to take down the pillar. Get us out of here. Hurry.
Oh, I guess I did prepare 2 of these. He's like rubs his hands together, says some kind of strange arcane word, and a wave of power emanates from him, which immediately makes all the glowing gems in your manacles stop glowing.
Nice. Now I can just twist my way and break these chains apart, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Now, I touch the wall in front of me. Is it also down?
Yep, you just, your hand goes right through.
Thank you. What's your name?
I am Meliphon. Now, come on. We're getting out of here.
That's great, but we have one stop to make.
Okay, you guys make your stop. I'm going to go to the other wing and free the guys that I'm actually here to free. And he disappears.
Excellent. All right.
Cool.
I need to use my gourd sensing powers. They're tingling right about now.
So with the gems out, can I rip myself free?
Yep.
Cool. Literally going to bust the chains and rip free and going to run with 7 wherever we go.
Okay.
We've got our senses tingling and we're heading towards our final destinations.
Our monk and or dead guy senses are tingling.
In the meantime, when you guys on the outside see stuff blow up, what do you do?
I guess head towards the explosion and hope that these guys also came up with a way to blow themselves up and we can meet in the middle.
That makes sense.
That's totally what happened, as far as you know.
That seems reasonable.
There is plenty of commotion, so you guys can essentially like hop onto like a busted window and make your way in,
All
because
right.
pretty much all the windows are busted at this point.
Sweet.
All right. So we'll cut back to Seven and Sakar. You basically have you can feel a direct line to where the gourd is, but there's like walls and stuff in the way, so you gotta kind of go in a roundabout way. You guys go down a hallway. You see your two guards, which are like frozen in place, like Mr. Freeze style frozen, like and like in the process of like taking out some maces.
Mm.
And they just have like little stalactites hanging from them.
We run by. Ice to see you.
Are they just covered in ice, or are they to the point where you can shatter them?
It's hard to tell. They're not like, oh, it's so cold out here or anything. But
So you could probably smash them, I'm sure.
yeah, you know how magic is. Like,
Yeah.
These guys probably might have the hit points to have survived the hit, so they might still be alive.
So shattering them would just be cruel.
If they're still alive, you wouldn't shatter them. If you hit them, then you might just like damage them.
I'm going to keep moving then.
Okay.
Because if we hit them, we might also free them.
Possible. You guys turn a corner, go into another room, and find yourselves in a kind of a rotunda type thing. So as you walk in, the immediate thing in front of you are a couple of corpses, which appear to be, again, more guards. If you follow the trails of their blood, you see that at the center of this rotunda, there is a large monstrosity with a couple sets of big spiky horns, wings, a pair of wings, spikes running down its back. It's like gray and black, has long claws and a couple pairs of glowing red eyes. And just a mouthful of horrendous fangs.
Oh, skid to a stop, looking up the thing.
Yeah.
Is this a friend of yours, Sakar?
Is it a friend of mine?
It is not a friend of yours. The moment it sees you, it lunges at you.
Dive out of the way.
Yeah.
We dodge.
Okay. You guys dive out of the way, but you kind of didn't need to because its claws stop just short of where you were as it gets yanked back, and you see that there is a glowing golden chain around his neck, which goes to the center of the room and then just kind of attaches itself to and is attached to the ground.
Guard dog.
Perhaps.
Do we see our stuff
Or
in the
another
middle of the
prisoner?
room?
You got to go into another room, so you guys are going to have to hog the wall to get around it.
All right. Try to. Are you intelligent?
It just tries to kill you again.
Okay. Take it that it doesn't want to be freed. So we will continue to skirt around the wall very closely, staying out of its talons.
Yep.
Dodging and bobbing and weaving our way around.
Okay. So meanwhile, the other three managed to get inside the building. You guys hear a lot of commotion inside.
Do we hear anything that sounds like Sakar 7?
I mean, you hear fighting. That kind of
does
sounds like
sound like
Sakar
Sakar.
7.
Fair enough. Oh,
But no, I guess you don't hear any roaring or kiaing. So no, at this juncture, you do not sound something that sounds like their particular styles.
well, I will still head towards the fighting in the hopes that, because I mean, that maybe they're just trying to keep it on the DL.
Yep. All right. So you guys head towards the. I'm assuming nobody throws any objections here.
No, I mean, there's not any signs on the wall that say this way to detention level, is there?
There are in fact not, but there are signs on the wall that say this way to architecture, or this way to
From
history and research.
Sad.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys
they don't hear off in the distance anyone saying "I used to see you" as they run down the hallway. They don't hear that.
Not quite.
Oh,
not
okay.
quite. So
Our timing's a little off.
Yeah.
Find any
when
pools of blood.
you guys have to basically go down a set of stairs, and as you do, you end up on a hallway, and basically down one way you can hear all the commotion, and down the other way, which is a ways down, and down the other way, pretty close, as you guys come down, the door bursts open. And on the other side of it is a young man. He's got brown skin, sandy blonde hair. He's wearing some white robes and a Peleus hat. And behind him are a bunch of like really bedraggled looking people. We'll say like 5 that are dressed similarly to him, but they look like they've been through the ringer.
She'll look at them.
Yeah, he skids to a stop and kind of like takes out a wand.
Sparkle kind of like starts looking like she's going to go for a dagger. It's like, prison escape?
Yeah, who are you guys?
Oh, we're here to bust our friends out of prison.
Oh, are you with the? And he like makes like a gesture to sideburns.
Yes. Do you know where they went?
Yeah, they're like on the opposite side of the complex.
Oh, okay. Wait, where are you guys based? Because we should team up if you are also.
Yeah. We'll team up later. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you and these guys run out, and you bust through a big set of double doors to find basically, as you bust through a set of double doors, you do it just in time to see an Asmodean priest fly through the air, hit the wall right next to the door, and you guys just hear like the loudest crack come from his body as he like falls down. And at the center of the room, essentially circled by dead or unconscious soldiers and priests, you see a really big, angry, scary-looking gnoll with a giant club. And the moment that she steps to the side, you see on the other side of her a Kenku with a big glowing mace.
So sorry, which side are they? Do they appear to be on?
It appears like they just busted up a bunch of Asmodean guys.
Oh, awesome! Good. That's glad to hear it.
Does she know that dude?
Meliphon is like, Aluche, and he like looks in your direction. And he's like, Sparkle?
Yeah.
He's like, you guys know each other?
We do. Small cosmos.
Another door flies open as 2 guys roll in, putting on backpacks and armor and like cinching on weapons and stuff. It is 7 Owls Wise and Sakar.
Oh, hey guys. We need to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Friends of yours, and I point out to the Kinku and the knoll.
Yeah, this is Fangs for Foes and Aluche.
Oh, right. Come on.
Yeah.
And we run.
All right. Everybody runs out. Aluche stops for a second and is like, oh, wait, hang on. And he like snaps his fingers and some like golden energy comes back to him.
Mm.
Like, don't want to leave that lying around.
That's what I was wondering.
What's that?
His demon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. He's also an Avenger and capable of summoning demons.
Nice.
So you guys bust out and Aluche, Fangs, and Meliphon like immediately like, you know, basically the door flies open and they go into like battle poses and stuff to see that the courtyard in front of the building has been mostly cleared. Aluche looks in the distance to see a burning building and they're like, well, I don't know what that is, but
oh, that's
okay.
us. We did that.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that this all worked out really well.
All right, well, we'll work it out later. And you know, there's like a handful of guys, so you know, each of you can like crack a guy in the head as you run by.
Gladly.
Sweet.
Indeed.
I throw a couple of forearms and an elbow.
I see anyone I recognize from the boat, I'm going to take their head from their body.
Scar and I grab arms and we clothesline a couple of guys as we plow through.
Sakaar tosses him, and he does the little kickback thing, and then it's awesome. It's like a tag team maneuver.
Yeah, we'll call this one our speedball special.
The Doomsday Device. Yours is better.
All right. So you guys get clear of the courtyard and down a street and down an alleyway and up a wall, basically like an alley, like a blind alley. Aluche like climbs up the wall, lands on the other side, and Fangs just starts throwing wizards over the wall.
Nice.
Seems reasonable.
Yep.
I'll scramble up and follow.
Yep. You guys can all get up, and if somebody has any problems, you can just get in line, and Fangs will throw you over. And yeah, you guys run down the street a ways and eventually get to a kind of a warehouse district type thing. And Aluche gets to a doorway that's kind of out of the way, holds it open, and motions for everybody to get in. And all the people in robes run in.
That sounds like a perfect place to take a break this week. Oh, nothing like a good old-fashioned prison break without having to do a skills challenge out of it.
It was someone else's skill challenge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
Which
right,
is
everybody.
fine, because we really hosed the last one up. So.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. We'll be back next time. If you want to hear what happens next, and you're not already a patron, if you join at the $5 level at patreon.com/major spoilers, you can hear next week's episode right now. It's all over there. Patreon.com/major spoilers. In fact, there's even some bonus original RPG shows that you're not going to hear anywhere else. So you might want to go check those out over at patreon.com/major spoilers. So until next time, for D&D Brian and Rob and Samantha and Matthew and Rodrigo and myself, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2020 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.